so Jamie, I'm here with my right-hand man, Jamie Wicks. He's world-class, world-famous ISA. This guy's a beauty. So a common question that I get, Jamie, from new ISAs is they make a good contact with someone and maybe they're not quite ready to go. They don't really know what to do next. Maybe walk people through some of the processes that you would maybe give as a tip to anybody watching right now.
Well, you have to just kind of get used to understanding your CRM, I would say, for one, right? Okay. With the lead, because it's not always going to be that you're on the phone with that person or, having conversations with them. You'll often be like, this person's not looking to buy for 3 months or 6 months. Do I need to call them every day? And no, you don't, right? But you do need to have a way of identifying those leads and then stay on top of them. So a lot of times for me, what I'm doing is just kind of trying to watch what they're doing in the CRM, what they're doing on the website. If they're active, pay attention to if they're favoriting properties, if they're just visiting the same property a few times on the website, or just coming back to the website at all,
right.
Those types of things, right? So a lot of times your follow-up that you're doing isn't necessarily even a direct call or text or something like that to the person you're talking to.
Right. Now, so Jamie, let's say they've identified the person's 3 months out, which is, we know in real estate world, is they're looking, they're looking. They need to be out there looking at properties. How do you move them from behind the keyboard to a good interaction to actually taking some action and going out and looking at some properties and getting in front of one of our agents?
So usually that's where you want to kind of talk about maybe something like the Exploratory Tour, right? So we've talked about that a lot, and with some of our videos is usually the first person that's going to get in front of those clients and start giving them value and start building trust is going to be the person that works with them. And a house is going to come along that speaks to them. That could be tomorrow, that could be 3 months from now. A lot of times their time frame is we're open to any time, but we're not in a rush. But really what it is that they just haven't really found the right property. And as well as I do, having been into those houses with the people, when they walk through it, it's yeah, this is it. This could really work for us. So a lot of the time I'm just trying to actually get them in front of one of our agents sooner, whether it's an in-office meeting or an exploratory tour, just to get out and walk through a few homes and get them to understand we learn by being in the house with you. That's how we get to understand what works for you and share the feedback among our team, right? So I'll try and encourage those types of things and just let them know that it's a no pressure situation. It's not that we're taking you out to go walk through homes with an expectation that you might buy one of them. It's actually the opposite, right? We're walking through the homes with an expectation that you're not buying one of these houses, and that it's a learning experience for us all to get on the same page.
That makes sense. So what Jamie's basically saying is talking about the value of getting behind the keyboard, looking at some properties, developing some context for the real estate market, getting a sense of the things that you like and don't like. Once you have that level of commitment from a client, Jamie, what are some of the steps that you would then advise agents listening to do in order to set us up, or the agent you're referring to, for success?
So you mean once they've had that opportunity to get in front of people
so you're booking an exploratory tour, but now the agent doesn't have any trust built with them yet, right? We don't have them. Do we have them fully pre-qualified? Where are we at with those things? So maybe a couple tips around what you would suggest.
Yeah, well, you're not always going to have all the information right up front, but you're getting the opportunity to get in front of them and dig deeper and build trust, right? And so sometimes that happens by doing the exploratory tour. A lot of times what we'll try and do is actually have our agent reach out to that person even before the meeting and introduce themselves and have some conversation, right? So, every touch point is just building more trust, right? You're getting further and further.
So do you think it would be a good idea so once you have the commitment for the exploratory tour or the research tour, to have a consultation with their agent first before going out, but get the commitment to that?
Absolutely, yeah. And that's where agents should be proactive. Find out when ISAs are calling you and telling you, hey, I'm setting up a tour for this person, or I'm setting up a something, whether it's a Zoom meeting or something. Start to learn about that person. Get in the CRM, see what they're doing, talk to the ISA, find out what we've learned so far, so that you can make that call and make that introduction to that person and start taking it from there. You need to start taking that trust and putting that ball in your court, right? Because what ends up happening is sometimes to a fault, like they might count on us for more and more of that information, and we get so far and so deep with them that the handoff becomes a little bit harder than it needed to be.
Right.
And so, and that's just like a good ISA is building trust, right? So that just happens. But absolutely, if I was the agent, I would be getting involved in that as early as I can. Introducing myself.
So let's recap this. So if you're an ISA and you're setting up an agent for success, you've identified a prospect, from your preliminary questions, it seems like they check off all the boxes. We're moving towards getting from behind the keyboard to doing an exploration tour. Once you have commitment for that, before the meeting, offer an in-person or a Zoom consultation with the agent first. I think that's really critical and important because it allows the agent to set the context for the tour, for the process. It allows them to really get deeper in rapport with the client. So when they get to the property, they're not both sitting there with different agendas. For example, if you're there to look at a property with your wife and the agent's there to try and build rapport with you and get to know you, it's kind of annoying, right? Nobody wants to be dealing with that, right? Let's make sure that when we walk through the house, the rapport is already built. There's already an expectation of what the process looks like.
Yeah, so like as an example, just the clients that we were dealing with this week, we received a referral of some people that were planning on coming out here and looking at some properties in a few weeks. So I had initial conversations with them, got a few things set up in the way of like just getting an understanding what they're doing. But their plan was like, if it went their way, was to actually just come here on the day, meet with us, go look at a couple properties, and that would have been where we were starting. So instead, what I asked is, I said, could you make some time this week where we could connect on Zoom, myself and the agent that's going to be showing you homes, so we can get a better understanding before you come here. Perhaps we might be able to react with the market a little bit better before you're here, show you better homes while you're here, and you'll get more out of that tour, and we'll just understand you better. And they did, and they made a commitment. We met on Zoom last night, 6 o'clock. We just worked around their calendar, and now we're in a much better position for when they come here because they have trust, right? So
what we found too with this last year of COVID is that Zoom has been a very effective way to get in front of people and build trust, right? So you don't always have to get people to drive across town to meet you at their office, or if they're from out of town, offer the option. Say, hey, would you prefer an in-person consultation or through Zoom? And you'll notice that a lot of people are picking the Zoom option for convenience.
Yeah. I think that even if you compare it to last spring when a lot of people were just kind of getting familiar and comfortable with Zoom for the first time, like people are comfortable with Zoom now, right? It's not even a foreign thing to anybody now. Everybody knows what Zoom is, or there's different ways you can do those video calls, but people are very comfortable with it. They've been doing it for all sorts of things over the last year. So it's not like an abnormal thing now, right? So I've had very, very little reluctance from anybody. And in fact, I'd say that really Zoom has been helping me connect with people even earlier in the process, where I've been able to take some of those people that maybe do have things that are going to hold them back from buying for an actual year, like they're not going to be buying sooner, but to be able to get in front of them and connect with them on a Zoom meeting and just go over a few things in like the buying process if they're a new buyer, or maybe some things around how they might need to work through the process if they have a home to sell, like just things like that, just to get the ball rolling and get things started and have a face to the names of the people they're talking to. It's been awesome for that, right? So yeah,
awesome. Guys, we're trying to put value out there, so if you like the content that we're giving you, hit the subscribe button, make sure you like our page, follow us, Jamie, myself, and we have an entire organization here at Sims Coaching Systems. We're here to help. We want to bring you guys value. We run a world-class ISA team. Jamie leads it. That department's going to help us do over 400 sales this year. And so if we can help you in your business, reach out to us and we'll help you guys understand how we do it and how to put these systems in play. Thanks, brother.
Yeah, great, man.
Thank you so much for watching. If you really found this valuable, smash the like button below, subscribe to our YouTube page, and then look for more amazing content.